G'day folks, this is a quick session report based on a playthrough of Scenario 1 SNAFU from Operation Mercury, part of the Grand Tactical System. Now I started this scenario as part of the GTS Quick Start Guide, and I thought I'd finish it off despite doing some less than optimal moves on that first turn just to demonstrate how things worked. I don't know if that first turn was critical, but the Germans really never got their attack going. You can see they've got a small foothold here. They are right next to the airfield here. These are the two airfield hexes, and yeah, they're pretty close, but they've suffered a lot of cohesion hits. They are also pushing out on the left here with a few scattered units, but the focus of most of their command efforts, as you can see, was over on the east. And despite all this concentrated effort, they couldn't capture just one airfield hex. Now, to win the game, the Germans need to capture both of these airfield hexes and the port of Latinal out on the far left. Their initial thinking was to capture the airfield first and try to get these forces to drive along the road to then shift out to the far west, where there are just a few Greek police forces holding the city. But they never even captured the airfield. The Germans struggled with command throughout both days, really. This is a two-day scenario. It runs through the 20th and 21st of May, right up until the end of the 1900 turn. The Germans often had to just put one formation activation in the cup because they couldn't afford the dispatch points for both. You can see for the Allies to win, they need to destroy a certain number. I think it's 13 German steps. I think they managed to get three steps. So the Allies are also a long way from their objectives. That means this is technically a draw, but yeah, I really think the lack of German progress means we can almost call this a minor Allied victory. The German landings here clearly haven't gone well. The Allies have established some pretty good defensive positions. They have I think this is a heroic unit, heroic Greeks on the airfield. A lot of them still in their improved positions, as you can see, not at all threatened by this German offensive. On the left here, the Greeks, basically we put the Greeks on the flanks of the 19th Australian Brigade. So we have the 1/5, 2nd 5th out here, and the 1/4, 2nd 4th on the right. We did lose a few Greek companies, just some one steps. That's about the only Greek losses. We lost an Australian company. It fell pretty quickly to pretty much two direct hits from, I think it was a mortar and a German dual-purpose gun out on the right. Really, I don't know again if it's the first turn or I know the Germans rolled very poorly. Their small arms fire against these Allied defenders holding their improved positions in -1 terrain means that a lot of the time they're just doing possible suppression. And because the Allies had just a massive surplus of command, basically there's only the one, let me try and find it. They only have the one formation to worry about, that 19th Australian Brigade. So it costs them 2 dispatch points to put this in the cup. That's all they have to worry about. Well, the Germans have 2 formations that they need to activate. It's twice as expensive. So the Allies had a surplus of command, and they were able to automatically pass those suppression checks with Vasey here putting all his troops in command, whereas the Germans are splitting 2 forces. And in particular, this 3 Volksjäger Regiment 2 is split in half, and it was difficult to get the commander to activate all his forces at once. First, the blue forces, 1 Volksjäger Regiment 2, didn't struggle as much, and so I was dedicating dispatch points to these guys out in the east, and this is why they are so close to the airfield. But these attacks over here never got anywhere. You can see these 2 companies, these are elite Volksjäger companies, have not captured a single Allied position. The Allies blocked the road here. They held some key defensive... Well, when I say key, it's -1 modifier, but it's enough around the outskirts here to prevent the Germans doing anything. When you look at it, there's, a machine gun company there, 2 independent units, and the 2 infantry companies out here. So it's 3 infantry companies against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in this area. So they're just vastly outnumbered by Allied forces. And it's a similar story out on the right. The Germans are just outnumbered. Again, you do have the light purple, the purple light mortar firepower of the Allied units, but they weren't as influential. I'm not saying, the Germans lost because of the light mortars. The Germans, in fact, tried to employ a strategy where they would focus all their efforts on just 1 or 2 isolated Allied units. And maybe that's their problem. They were a bit too... I don't think they were too passive. They were pretty aggressive around here, but just trying to focus on 1 or 2 units at a time. So in this area, for example, focusing all their firepower on this hex. And previously it was this hex, and then it was this hex here. So they're kind of slowly making ground, but very, very slowly. And not enough to seize the airfield in the time allowed by this scenario. So yeah, technically this scenario ends in a draw, but I'm kind of chalking this up as a very minor Allied victory. That is scenario 1, SNAFU from Operation Mercury.